Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Laststandgamers, and welcome. Now, every now and then, you come across something on the workshop, and you're absolutely blown away by it. Now, in front of us, we have the Behemoth Mech. Now, this one's been created by Cifarella, and I have to say, this really does just tick a lot of boxes for me in forms of mech. Just look at the legs. Wow, let's start there. So this was inspired by a mech from the Rooster Teeth series, but you can see at the front we've got these praying mantis style legs. Let's just have a look at the joints and the advanced systems in here. So they've added a wheel there to add a little bit of detailing, but you can see we've got the rotor as this leg sort of lifts up and down, and it's all been calculated extremely well with the pistons and whatnot, so it all holds in place. Now, there's 3 versions of this particular mech. This one is the fully detailed. There is also a version that is stripped, and there is a short version. Now, I've got this running by putting it on the moon world and turning the voxel damage off, so it can walk across the ground and it won't destroy the ground under its own weight. So you can see as the legs actually press down into the ground, some of them will find themselves getting stuck through. So you can see it has to pop that up, stamp that leg in, that leg then gets stuck again, and it can begin moving forward. So it is not practical for survival, but look at this thing, that's crazy saying that. So let's have a look at some of the other legs. You can see the joints, just how they expand out. Oh, it's just a beautiful work of art. How each one of these rounded legs has these little lights, these little parts of detailing on it as we work our way up to this armored blast door type joint, and it works up to these rotary sort of disc joints up at the top that are simply just tires. You can see how 2 of them are connected together on that particular point, and it just makes it feel detailed, makes them feel like actual rotary joints rather than the rotors themselves being exposed. So as we work our way back to the tail here, you'll also notice the detailing of staggering each one of these out with a rotor, and the tail slightly moves it up and down as it moves along. And I'm guessing if this was to really work, that tail would come into account for balancing the actual object's weight as it moves along, so you'd have to fluctuate sort of maybe rotor speeds or something like that to keep the front end actually stable so it simply didn't tip over. Sort of a counterbalance system. Very cool if it was functional. In this particular design, it's definitely more for looks. Now, as we work our way up onto the top of the ship, we have a little access landing pad at the rear there, as well as various remote control turrets at different sections. We've also got these that I'm guessing are supposed to replicate some sort of cannon or weapon fire. So you can see we've actually just got 2 armoured airlock doors with a ladder on top, and they look like these really cool fusion sort of blasters, plasma railguns things. It looks awesome. So let's work our way back down into the center. You can see how the ship's front curves down into that frontal body and into them praying mantis legs. Now, if we pop aboard through this frontal airlock, we can actually spawn our character in here. So let's just make sure he's not in the seat so we don't break the whole ship. So we'll spawn our character, just get a sense of scale. Yes, we're a tiny little dot on this thing, and as I put my legs on in here, we can see we can access various different areas of it. This particular area is really quite cool because it senses and detects ships within inside here, and it'll stack and maneuver them. We've got engineering back here, so engineering is actually moving back and forth throughout the ship as it moves, and I'm guessing this is acting as some sort of stabilization or gyroscope movement as the legs are moving up and down. So you could, it's a little bit like a Harry Potter room and the moving staircases, but that central area moving back and forth, acting as them gyroscopes. So it's warning, moving platform, so you'd hop yourself back on and you'd transfer yourself down past all the gyros to the opposite end of the hangar. That is just super fancy. It's complex, but at the same time it does make sense having a shifting counterweight to keep balance as well. I'm guessing this, in a realistic sort of design sense, if you can say that, would have to shift with the weight of the craft as it balanced and moved over terrain. But you can see it's brought us to the rear end of the ship. We've got the rear sort of piston elevator in this section that raises up and down. You can see it's currently warning, it's moving, you don't want to access it at this current moment in time, as well as a connector there at the rear. And you can see we've also got some of these access areas like this. So we've got various different spider bays, and this is the concept for storing plenty of small fighters. And you've got the blast doors up there, as well as sort of overseeing rooms so you can see who can remote control these spider type crafts, but there is plenty of room in here. We've got bay after bay. Let's continue up towards the front of the ship. So if we wanted to lock this all down, it's as simple as pressing a few buttons when I can access the control panel. So we've got Beta Company over that side, and we have Alpha on that side. We've also got hangar level 4. So ships can lock themselves into landing level here, deploy it through that frontal airlock. So we've got the bridge, we've got the left wing quarters. So if we go into the left wing, we've just got these simple bed type setups, using the older style, not using the decorative pack. Interesting choice, but it could have been built long before that. So we've got the medical bay towards the left, simple sort of setup here, where we've got the survival kits inside there. Very nice indeed. Now we've got the games room, game room 1. So we've got some little LCDs. And remember, while this is all going on, we're still moving across the moon's surface, even though it is very steadily. And it does look a little bit like we're starting to stumble over to our left. We are moving across the planet. So let's pop ourselves back in here. So just the scale of this place amuses me. Let's go back to the front. I can feel a slight tilt coming on here. So if we start to rock any further, we might have to get to the control seat as fast as possible. So there was the crew quarters. We've got the bridge ahead now, so probably just in the same amount of time. And we've also got over here another bridge access way. And that just takes us back down to the other level. So nothing really to consider too much here. So you can just see the spider hangar there. And you've also got one more level dropping you down till the hangar level like that. So you can access each level of the hangars if you want to. And that's the left wing corridor that just wraps around the hangar. So we've got the hangar level and we've got engineering once again on that moving platform. If we come down the stairs again, we've got another level on level 1, and you can see that we can just deploy our fighters quickly in quick succession from right there. So let's go back up to the bridge. So we've navigated this thing as it's moving, and that's a difficult act as it is. And we've got a little bit of a performance drop, but the game's still holding pretty damn strong. So we've got the companies up there, and we've got the bridges up here to the left. So a little bit of a maze for attackers to get stuck on if they had to. So on the way to the bridge, we've got various turrets, and we've got a left-hand turn, and here we are in the various different systems. So we've got drone overseer, we've got infantry overseer, weapons operators, we've got spider tank overseer. So just all the positions that you'd want, and you've got the controls listed up there if you're not too sure. Toggle Gatling guns, toggle power, toggle internal blast doors, and toggle lights. So now that we're in control of this thing, as my first act as the overseer of this mighty drone, let's access some of the turrets. And to do that, we're actually going to stop it walking for the minute. So we're going to hit 2. 1 is to start it walking, and we can open and close the hangar bays. So let's close them hangar bays up for the minute. So they'll activating up, and they'll start to seal up in the rear areas. And we've got 9 as well, so that'll turn the lights on in various areas around the ship if we want to. So let's turn that off for the minute to save on performance. So as we work our way through, we're actually going to have to move to different seats. So let's actually have a look at the weapons operator's position. So you can see the controls are listed here. Heavy dual turrets, fire once, lock, unlock, idle off. So it gives you the basic controls of what to do. So if we access one of them, let's just pick the first seat that we've got. We access the camera on top. We can see which one we're in control of. So here we go. We've got one of the missile turrets. We're going to turn that off. We're going to activate the gyroscope. So we should have some limited control, if I'm correct, or maybe not. Maybe I've miscalculated what I was going to press. Let's just have a quick look which missiles we're actually firing here. So we're firing the forward batteries in this particular case. We've still got rotor operation. Maybe we need to have that rotor on so we can rotate it. I got it working before. That looks actually like it's locked to the front deck. That's not good at all. Let's try a different weapon system. So in this case, we'll turn that on. We'll activate that, and we'll go to 9 and see if we can get any movement out of it. So Aaron's clearly doing something wrong with these missile launchers, because I did manage to get them working before. It's just for some reason, maybe it could be because we're on the moon as well, that I'm not managing to get them move. I'm sure you'll correct me in the comments, and it was something really stupid that I managed to miss. Let's just check the console one more time. So it says fire once, lock, unlock the turret on idle, power, unpower turret off. Okay, view cameras, medium Gatling gun turrets, page 2. Okay, so we've seen all that. Can we activate the remote control sensors. Let's find the sensor control panel. So there's the turrets. Now these are the sensor operators. So the sensor operators have these cool little pods on the side here. You can see just a little bit of detail, and it pops up into the air. Let's see which one I'm controlling. I think I'm controlling this one at the moment. So you can see the sensor pops up into the air like so. We can then press the timer block, activate the camera, and once again we've got some issues with it, but we can activate the camera and have a look around that area. That's what it basically does. It could be to do since we're on the moon as well. So you can see we activate that camera, it pops up, and let's try it one more time. So nothing on the control systems there. Oh, there we go. We've got some basic control on the camera. So we can now maneuver the camera around. We can check things out on the distant horizon, see what's going on. Now we've got that working, maybe one of these turrets will work as well. Let's pop down here, activate that up, activate number 4. Because usually with these sort of systems, you need to activate a timer block before you start, and that's what I was a bit concerned about, because I didn't see any on the HUD. So we've got that one. We can turn that off, turn that on. Activate. Yeah, no control of the rockets for the minute. But I'm sure I'm doing something quite simple. So there you go. A really beautiful creation crafted out of images, pictures from the Rooster Teeth series, and brought to life in Space Engineers with a bit of a creative flair. And when you stand next to this thing and just see the height of it, you realize how damn scary and awesome it is. Now the stripped versions do work, so if you want to actually try this thing on the planet, then I recommend that you get out one of the stripped versions or you get the short version. But anyway, a great creation. I'll have a link down to it so you can jump on the workshop and check it out for yourself if you wish. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.